wrap for the night. Here's our food storage project on Saturday. It's about 5:30. I'm gonna call it a day. It's been an all-day ordeal. Just had this flimsy old unit that was here before, and it just wasn't fitting the space. We've got this hole right here, this drain, and then we've got a vent tube for it that goes up and into the ceiling, and then we've also got this gas line that goes out to my garage, and those two things combined made that shelf have to come away from the wall, and it just wasn't a very good use of space. It's got this awkward hexagon corner, so I spent the good part of the morning just trying to figure out how I was going to do this. Finally decided to make some vertical beams to attach some wood to. Originally I was going to just do these horizontal beams and just attach them right to the concrete. I had a hard time doing that. I've got these masonry nails that are supposed to go into concrete. I don't know if they're not long enough or what, but I couldn't get the boards to work. I did use a few of them. Up top here, I've got one right here. I didn't do them in all of them. I got one right here, one right here. This board, I couldn't get one to take. I got two test holes right there where they didn't work. Got another one here where I couldn't get it to work. So those ones I just kind of stood in place and framed it in and made it work. Once I got this framework done, it should be good to go. And then I've got these plywood pieces that they'll be all custom made. It's probably gonna be one of the more difficult parts, getting all these ridges cut into it. And then I've got this vent tube that I got to cut into it. I do have a support beam right here, as well as we'll have a support beam along the front of every shelf. I'm really happy with how it's coming together. So we've got some bottled food, and these are designed to have the bigger jars fit on them, and then this top one will fit cold cereal boxes and whatever. It's a really deep shelf, 31 inches, I believe. So lots of stuff can fit in here, and really going to be a better use of the space. It's, like I said, a weird location, so it's hard to put everything here. One thing I didn't realize until I pulled all this other shelf out was that this is leaking. This is obviously put in by somebody else. This gas line, it's about a foot, grade's about right here, so it's about a foot below grade. I'll have to go outside and dig down and try and seal that. Obviously I don't want any water from outside running in and over the new shelves especially, or inside at all. I've been using these 3-inch screws, about finished off this whole box. It was about a half an inch or an inch full when I started. Obviously been using a level to level everything. Got my impact driver, been using to drive everything. These 1 5/8 drywall screws, I use them to hook the 1/2-inch plywood in. Regular hammer, I didn't really use that a whole lot. I more or less use this bigger hammer to put in these masonry nails. And I do have some shorter screws. I think these are 2.5-inch. Use these to attach over here to this existing shelf next to it. One thing to note is all the wood used on this project is recycled. It's all from what I call pallets. There's a manufacturing facility down the road, not too far away, a few miles away, that uses all sorts of different sized pallets, kind of uniquely shaped pallets. This plywood came from pallets. Those were 40-inch by 40-inch pieces. I think they use those for holding 55-gallon drums. And all of what looks like 2x4s, but it's actually a little bit smaller, probably closer to 2x3, 2x3.5s. All of that's from the 2x3s are from the pallets that I pulled apart for my pallet wood fence. These were the lengthwise runners. So, the only expense I have into this in materials is the screws. I usually buy these bigger boxes. I tend to use them up pretty quick. So, couldn't beat a project like that. Inexpensive, with the pallet wood, and then, a lot of time. I did spend a lot of time thinking about how to make this work. Once I got going, it worked out pretty well. On these joints here, I've got a couple different things. Because these lateral pieces, I don't have enough room back here to run them on the front of the 2x4s like I did everything else. So I used the pocket holes in all of these. So all the way down there, I've got pocket holes. Same up here, pocket holes. Cut these ones out of 45. That worked out really nice. You can see here's my first style here, and then down below I decided to cut a 45 in there too, a little bit cleaner look. Yeah, so that's a summary on day one on this project. Here's the aftermath of a Saturday full of projects. Here's my daughter's transfer case project. I bought this for 20 bucks off of classifieds, and she's taken it apart a number of times and she enjoys doing that. I got my wife's project over here. She sanded that down and getting to paint it, and then here's the aftermath of all my cutting. So this is where I cut all my the 2x3s for that project. This sawzall, or the skill saw, went down. It's Milwaukee. Halfway through doing this, it lost, shorted out. So this core, I inherited this. This was a free skill saw. When I got it, the cord was all jacked up. Bought an extension cord from Home Depot, 10, 12 bucks. Rewired it. Kind of did the same number, electrical tape right here. And then it's lasted me probably 5 years like that. And then just today it wore out again. It's got kind of a rubber piece in there that holds it strong. So I tried my best to get it as strong as I could. So if you notice the pause in my video, that's where I was doing surgery on this thing. So you can see this is where I cut these big sheets of plywood. You can see the drum marks on them there. So this is where I was cutting those up, and here's all these parts from that saw. I don't know if you can see where it, yeah, so that's where it shorted out. Right there, a couple wires touched together. So I made a mess over here, all my electrical stuff, so you can see that I rewired that with. And then over here is where I had the little mini Craig jig set up. I've just got this clamp. This clamp and the mini Craig jig, and then I've got this drill bit that's meant for it so it doesn't bother me at all. Use this hole drill to drill it around that pipe. I think that worked really well, so I'll keep using that. So yeah, that's my mess that I made today working on that project. I'm probably gonna get this cleaned up until we finish making the rest of the shelves. Okay, so I couldn't stand not to clean this. See my workbench over here, cleaned it off. Got this workbench over here, cleaned off. Got my daughter's project back up here. So all we got left is this dust to clean up, everything else to put back away. And good night.